Hi Pisces, I'm Ellie with PsychicFuture.com and this is your horoscope from the 1st to the 7th of October. So this is another week that we're going to be focusing on our relationships. We are in Libra season, so this is a very relationship kind of flavoured month. And if you followed on from last week's video, we were talking about this idea that your relationships tell you a lot about yourself. So when you kind of like some quality in somebody, or even dislike some quality in somebody, that says a lot about the things that you are kind of not allowing yourself to be. So this week we're getting a little bit more practical. We're going to start to apply this stuff, and this is going to be helped along by Venus is moving retrograde. So before you panic, Venus retrograde is not anywhere near as bad as Mercury retrograde, which is a very chaotic kind of feeling. Venus retrograde is about slowing down, being a little bit softer and gentler in our relationships. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to start to show you any of the places in your relationship that need a little bit of extra work. So that might be a positive thing. It might be that you haven't had time recently to catch up with your best friend, or perhaps you need to like schedule a date with your partner, or like with your kids, or maybe you just need to put a little bit of extra energy or a little bit of time into just hanging out with somebody or chatting with somebody. But it might be the opposite as well. It might be a little bit similar to what we were talking about last week, where perhaps you have somebody in your life that is taking more than they're giving, or perhaps you are giving more than you are expecting to receive. So, for example, some of us know people that, bless them, they don't mean to be, but they tend to be quite negative, and they're always like, oh no, this happened, and oh no, help me out, I feel awful about this. And because you're such a nice person, you probably always kind of go to them and go, don't worry, it's going to be okay, and you kind of feed it. And a lot of the time afterwards, like Pisces are very, very sensitive signs, then afterwards you probably feel quite drained by that person, because you've kind of soaked up their negativity almost, and they probably feel better, which is lovely, but you feel worse about it. And if you do have somebody in your life like that, or multiple people, try this week to create some boundaries. And by that I don't mean, cut them off and, tell them to get lost. I don't mean that, but perhaps, just kind of don't give them so much. Like, maybe if you are spending time with your partner or somebody else or something, you get a message that's like, oh, I need you right now. Don't drop everything to go to that person unless it's like a real emergency. But if it is one of these kind of people, then they're having real emergencies all the time. So what you can do is kind of just be like, hey, I hope you're okay. Like, I'm out at the moment, but I'll check in with you soon. Like, take care. Or anything like that. Like, just kind of try and keep some of your energy for yourself, and then you will have more energy to dedicate to the people that do make you feel positive rather than negative. So this is what Venus retrograde is basically going to bring up for us this week. Is going to be any places where we need to improve in the way that we relate to other people, and in particular it's going to get us to really think about how we feel in our relationships. So do we feel good in that relationship, and if so, let's put more energy into that one. Or do we feel drained in that particular relationship, and if so, then we need to kind of pull our energy back from it and kind of save it a little bit for ourselves or for the people that do make us feel positive. So yeah, all of this stuff is going to come up, and if it does, like, try not to feel like, oh God, I don't like it, I don't like noticing these things, or I don't like having this kind of like shown to me. Try not to do that, because actually it's being shown to you to help you, to help you to be better in your relationships, and to help you to feel really good in yourself and with the people that you spend time with, because a lot of us don't have a lot of time to spend with other people, because we've got so much on our plates nowadays, like work and family and home life, and just keeping all these plates spinning constantly, that it's rare that we get time to spend for ourselves, let alone for the people that we love. So Venus retrograde is basically trying to teach you how to better navigate your relationships. And if you just kind of like notice anything that goes on this week and just really think about it and try and balance it out a little bit, like this theme of balance we've been talking about, then actually this will really benefit you in the long term, and it will make you feel a lot freer and a lot more relaxed in your relationships. So I'm going to pick you a tarot card, and instead of doing a general one this week, we're going to do one for relationships. So let's have a card for Pisces. So this one. The Knight of Discs. Okay, he's come up twice this week. This is telling you to have patience in some way and to slow down. So if you've been constantly on the go recently, like I was saying, spinning lots of plates, work, home, family, endless kind of to-do lists, this is just saying to you now, you need to just slow down and take a break, because the world will continue spinning without you. It doesn't have to constantly need your input all the time. You can take a day off if you need one. You can take an evening off. Like, you know, maybe you need to just kind of get grounded in some way. Maybe you need to go out into nature, you know, take your shoes off and walk on the grass for a little bit. Like, that always helps me. Maybe you need to be a little bit more self-indulgent. Maybe you need to enjoy some good food. You need to go to a nice new restaurant with your partner and do something that's really kind of hearty. Maybe you need to like have some hearty good laughs with somebody. You need to meet up with your funniest friend, or you know, your most charismatic colleague, and just have some like good belly laughs with them. Like, what do you need to do so that you can just slow down and pause and just savour life a little bit, rather than constantly zipping about from here to there trying to get everything done. So make sure that you do that this week, and yeah, a little bit of indulgence never hurt anyone. So if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you next week. Much love.